And it's quite funny because I get people coming from the cottages over there, the holiday cottages, and I see an artist sitting drawing in the landscape, and they come see what I'm doing, and they think it's going to be all hills and lochs and trees and everything, and it's not. It's like all these weeny little abstract things, and they just kind of go, ooh. It's quite funny.
Do you get many people coming here that understand what you're doing? Or?
I think, apart from you, we've maybe had 2, and they were one couple.
How many years?
Well, we've lived here for 7, 8 years now. So we haven't always done open studios or invited people around, but occasionally you get people who just come up on holiday and they're fascinated. They like Bernard's work better than mine because they relate to the colour, and they love, I think they love Bernard, especially if they're ladies. But you know, the intensive drawing and ink stuff is not so popular. Definitely not.
Shall we go inside?
Let's go. My dad gave me this. This was his little box of nibs from his draughtsman's apprenticeship.
What did he do?
Architectural draftsmanship. He was an architect with ships and the navy and the dockyard, and he's a leading draftsman. Well used.
So what kind of what bird has had that plucked from it?
Seagull. I think this is one from Gullen Bay. Atramentum.
What does that mean?
Black stuff.
Black stuff?
Black stuff. It used to be an old word for ink. And to atrament something was to document something in ink. And there's a lovely word, I can't actually remember what it is, but there's something like atramentalia, which is anything to do with inkstands and feathers. So I can say to you, like, would you like to come to my studio and see my atramentalia? And this is what we're doing. These are done folded up like maps on my knee usually, so I've got really good control. You can't really do those on the wall, especially, you know, the really big ones, because your arm wants to do this and it's not going to do those really tiny marks. So folded up like a map on my knee, glasses on, huddled over it, and I don't really see the finished thing right to the end when I unfold it and iron it. They get ironed. I was really excited by this. They're pages from an old book. I particularly like this book. The pages are a bit yellowed. The paper is cheap. It's an airport novel. It's just lovely to work on. This one I stitched down the middle to make it look as though it was from the middle of a book. I think it goes this way up actually. That's it. So it's completely invented handwriting. And I was really delighted, after I've been messing about with this, to find it has a name. It's called asemic writing. Writing that can't be read. It can't be read at all. So I can't read it, I don't know what it says, but when I'm writing it I make up stories. I write really rude things about people. I do. There are allegations and slander hidden in those that nobody knows about. It's got really pretty marks in it. Is this all ink? These marks were made by coating a wooden rolling pin with glue, rolling it in rice, letting the glue dry, and then rolling the rice on the rolling pin through printing ink, and then printing from the rice onto the paper, and then joining up all the little dots and the lines.
So the big ironed one that you can see on the wall, big ironed ones, I mean, how long do they take?
Months. Really a long time. And I start down at the bottom there. That's where I start. Or I'll start with one of the structures. You have to start at the bottom because if you want things to sit behind each other, you can't draw it in afterwards. You can't make a mistake with them. There can't be any errors. You can't delete. You can't overwork. So it just has to go. And it's really important to me that I invent shapes as I go along. and all the time imagining swimming through there and diving down there and swimming through these and the whole thing's full of water. I'd love to swim in that. Because I really want this just to be a sheer wall of brick, which actually in real life those things terrify me. You know the Finchley Viaduct, just north of Mill Hill where I used to live? I used to have to go under that every time I went to Finchley to see my friends, and it scared the shit out of me. I just can't tell you how scary
it's sort of, is it anything to do with sublime, that, the horror?
It's awesome in the real meaning of awesome, you know, like, hey, cool, awesome. It's really awesome. It provokes a kind of, it's like being overwhelmed by the size and the scale and just so many bricks.
Was this part of the beginning of these brick drawings?
I think it was. And also when I moved here, I live really close to the Ben Lawers Dam. And that, have you ever been there? It is absolutely scary, and I've been here for, I think I must be in my 8th year or something now, and I've just got to the point where I can go and stand under one of those arches and not actually feel as though I'm going to faint or scream or do something absolutely terrifyingly wild.